Hi. I did a codependency summit the other day, and I was asked a question that I want to talk to you about today, which was how to stop obsessive thinking. So as a talk therapist, I have so many angles of going about this because really the base of everything that we're working with is energy. So we have to get it in the body. We can't access our own healing without crossing mind, body, and soul. So if we want something to stick, it has to align across the board. And when that happens, ideally there's positive, lifelong transformation. So the fun part is, first things first, when we are obsessively thinking, or obsessively, down the rabbit hole, can't stop. One, I want you to get that that's a biological addiction, right? So I'm a talk therapist, and I could talk to people all day long in their biological addiction. And if I'm not breaking that for them, if I'm not like interrupting that addiction pattern, that state of being that they're in, I'm doing them no service, right? So we have to get the biological addiction that we have to what I would call our default state. So first of all, we have to recognize it as such. It's an addiction. So what do you do when you're an addict and you're bugging out because you're fiending for something, and it sucks because it's in your head and you're obsessing about it. You can't, even if you divert the thought, the state takes you down the same exact thought pattern, but just with a different symbol, a different person or whatever. This is the kind of obsessive thinking that we're trying to stop. And I remember in my superfood addiction days, I would be watching my kids at the playground, and I would lay there like with my head between my knees. I couldn't even be present to them because I was obsessing. I know it's like absurd to people who don't get it. I was obsessing about what I was going to eat, what I could, what I couldn't eat, when was I going to eat. I couldn't and really it was like all sugar. Like, let me just go get sugar. I can't sit here and be present because my body is hijacked by this desire for something that is not in it and is not present here, right? So I couldn't even be present to my kids. That's an addict right there. So it sucks when you're addicted to your state because it's an invisible reality, or you're addicted to food because it is a necessity. And a lot of us go, we have our addiction to our state, our addiction to our food, or addictions beyond that, which I'm sure if you're here, you've toyed with to some degree. Ideally not, but there is a biochemical addiction to our state. And when we have obsessive thoughts and we go back down the rabbit hole, that's what I want to talk about. We need to engage the body in being more of us in soul than fear in mind. So what I mean by this is, in my experience, I used to be an obsessive thinker. I couldn't sleep at night. I would wake up in the middle of the night, have neurotic nonstop thoughts. I did a Parasite Cleanse. And the way that my body articulated and communicated to me, the healing through that, was that I could tell that when I was eradicating parasites from my system, there was more room, even though there was this die-off process, which also probably to some degree felt like an identity die-off for me. And 50% of people on the planet have parasites in their guts. So let's just go there for a second. So I did the Parasite Cleanse, and I was able to, I felt fuller of me, my intentions, and my boundaries got stronger, and they didn't feel defensive, or even I didn't need to express them. They just asserted themselves because in my physical body, eradicating those parasites made more room for me and less symbolic universal resonance with being a host for something parasitic, right? So if you have parasites on the inside and you believe in the mirror concept, it's going to be very easy for you to attract psychically parasitic people. So first and foremost, one thing you might want to look into that was helpful for me, and that's just what I'm going to lay down, what has been really helpful for me in this context. You might want to look into a Parasite Cleanse and talk to a nutritionist about what that looks like for you, because for me, the obsessive thoughts, although they come usually after a shame situation, they're not my life anymore after a Parasite Cleanse. And another thing I want to say, if you are a female and you are struggling with this, we live in a very estrogen dominant culture, and in my experience, and I'm going to say this again, I am not a medical doctor, but my personal experience has been such that progesterone cream and really looking into nutritional effects on your hormones is essential. It's hard work. It's a really big pain in the ass to have to take care of yourself and actually care for yourself in those ways when you want to just like eat whatever you want or do whatever you want. Hormonal imbalances are, they're nuts, okay? And we have access to information in today's age to be able to regulate that. So I would get your hormones in check, look into that. There is a course, I forget what it was called, but it, I believe, is in one commune about hormones. Check it out. I would highly suggest it. It's on my Facebook page somewhere. I'll post it again somewhere. Super amazing about hormones, life-changing stuff. There's that piece. So when we're in the momentum of the obsessive thought, can't break the state, it's very important to either, one, take a nap, right? Stop the momentum, stop that point of attraction. Take a nap, have a reset, take a nap with the intention of waking up completely anew, right? Or go splash water on your face, go to the river, do something that is, there's movement and a little bit of shock to the system, a little bit of adversity that you have to focus on the biological system versus the psychic system for a second, just to kind of bring you into awareness, activating all of your senses, however you might want to do that. So if that doesn't work, what is also helpful is going into the spiral, the obsessive spiral, and when you notice the thoughts come, rather than watching them come, you actually engage in them and exaggerate them, right? Whatever the thoughts are about, it's instead of watching them come and feeling like, oh my God, they're out of control, you want to actually hook on and exaggerate it. So if you're having an obsessive thought, like this person, you know, I don't know, they were really mean to me and I like can't stop, I can't figure out why they did that. I would grab onto it and exaggerate it, like that bitch, right? Like, I'm actually engaging with my own fire instead of letting it happen to me, right? So when we engage with our own self and we go, not only are you here, I'm going to activate you, I'm going to come inside of you, I'm going to let you be real, I'm going to let that thought be real. We are then in control of it instead of it going, you know, us feeling so out of control because we can't get out of the spiral. So, yes, there's one more thing I wanted to say, which is, so we are the common denominator between the symbolic expressions that we tend to use to obsess about, right? And all of those obsessions express or articulate our psychic blueprint, if you will. They articulate the way that we believe we are in the world and our vibrational state. So it's good information to know what your mind is super focused on, right? Like that's good information. And then it is, I found it to be really helpful when I'm down an obsessive thing, whatever that is. One, I have to recognize it's an addiction, right? And then we do this with people. We become addicted to people too, or relationships in these ways. Like I know so many people who literally think about their partner before they think about themselves. And it's not like always in a good way. It's usually in a negative way. Like, what are they going to think? Oh my God. Ugh. And that's an addiction, right? Because that person is typically used to not being their own sense of self as it is. So they're relying on holding that other person to like be the sense of self for both of them. All an addiction. So whatever the thought may be, whether it is this person did me wrong, I can't stop thinking about food, why did this thing happen, when you're in the state and in the spiral, another way to take really nice control of it is to do the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. There's little more humbling than that. And it goes across the board, because I could say this to myself if I'm feeling addicted to food and can't be present to my children. I can feel that to myself first. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. I can look at my children. I'm sorry that this is the experience right now. I love you, please forgive me, thank you, right? Across the board, we can utilize the access to that sense of self-forgiveness and forgiveness for all to kind of break the stronghold of the state that when we're in an obsessive state, it's usually a shame state. And when we're in that way, you're probably activating any of your like fight, flight, freeze responses, right? But when we do a Ho'oponopono, it is looking at the shame and saying, I love you, beyond that, through that, in that, please forgive me. Like, it is an objective view at the watching, right? So in that way, we can become, ideally, like all of our masters who taught us to be projectors of love rather than, reflectors of terrible energetic patterns that most of us are just taught and we just buy into and don't know anything different. So if you're struggling with obsessive thoughts, those are my thoughts for you. And lastly, I would say, give it, if you've been obsessing for a while, one, writing, write it down, write it all down, because once you write it, it's no longer inside of you, right? You activated the physical body to say, okay, I'm taking charge to get this out, right? Like, and use your own strength when you're writing it out, right? But another thing is to really say, okay, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna give this shame spiral, whatever this obsessive thing is, this envy, this like jealousy, this whatever it is that comes up, I'm gonna give it 3 minutes of my time. It's got 3 solid minutes. I'm gonna just watch it, listen to it, hear it, feel exactly what it feels like, instead of trying to deny it, say you shouldn't feel like that, oh my God, what's going on here? Instead of trying to control it, really let it, give it room, right? Give it room. And then when the 3 minutes are up, it's almost like a child in a temper tantrum. Okay, you can either have your tantrum and then you're going to stop it because it has dissolved, right? And the knowing that you only have 3 minutes is pretty good information for the psyche to go, okay, like, use it wisely. So it might be helpful to just give it room to actually speak and give it a time limit, and then when the time is up, you go about your day. You had your room, you had your say, got it, thank you for the information. We are collectively on the inside moving along now, right? So I hope this was helpful for you today. I did something pretty insane, which is I launched a beta course, and it is my first best attempt at supporting myself and you at the same time in a hopefully deeper way than I've been doing on YouTube. It is on my website, www.stacyhoch.com. It's priced at $99, it's a 7-week drip course, which is fun. So you'll get one thing dropped every 7 weeks, and it's called Soul Centering After Toxic Shame. So that's going to be for people who have grown up experiencing toxic shame in your home, being raised by a narcissist, being raised by a generation of narcissists, just knowing that the shame body is kind of running the show and is running the show on the inside. And we want to kind of flip that out, develop a healthy ego along the way so that then we have something to transcend. A lot of us, we're trying to be so good, right? We're like, please just let me be good. If I'm just good enough, all of this would stop, the suffering would stop, the pain would stop. And we have to, in that sense of desiring to be good, we haven't adapted or seen the edges of our own true ego and like kind of sank into it, let it be real, and let ourselves be in that place. And then from that space, which is the only space change happens from, then we can transcend it. But first, most of us need a healthy ego. So the course is about looking at the edges of your own ego so you can actually then get in it and then, move beyond it and hopefully choose to come to the planet in a healthier way. So it was my first best attempt, and I will, inevitably it will be changed and morphed. But if it's something that you would be into, check it out on my website, because you guys have been awesome, and I hope I can support you, and I hope that I can also support my family in a deeper way, during this time, because God, we're all home, and it is nuts. Thank you for also not expecting me to show up constantly, because I've been definitely parenting over here and hoping that on an epigenetic level, the pattern stops with me, and in 5 years when all of my kids are in school, I'm going to come out and be like, what's up, bitches? Let's play. But for now, I'm going to show up when I can. I'm going to love on you as hard as I can in the ways that I can. And I'm just super grateful that you let me do it that way. It means the world to me. So thanks, guys. I hope this was helpful. If you are new, hi, I'm Stacy Hoch, somatic life coach. I am the author of Imperfectly Sane and a mother of 4 in private practice on the East Coast, coming at you live on YouTube. So I hope to see y'all soon. If you dig the content, subscribe. Bye, guys.